Hey everyone, it's Graphic back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at how much I've earned in passive XP overnight with doing a level 229 detective passive. This is about 2.8 million XP and 93 or 94 silver about. So a very, very good passive for me to do overnight. It gave me a ton of XP, and I think a lot of people don't realize how good these passives truly are after level 200. I think every new account should take advantage of this and get to a level 200 plus passive as quickly as possible, and then do whatever you want on that account, just so you have something that's very productive overnight. So that's what I did specifically, is getting detective and the passives up to 229. So the next one, you can actually see if I pull this out, is not for quite some time. So if we go to level 229, the next one's actually at 238. So I'm going to have to gain about 9 levels. It's going to be a stakeout, which should be pretty good rewards as well. So we'll take a look at that when we do get to that point. But I want to get out of this passive activity and showcase what I've really been doing on my account, and what you guys could probably be looking forward to see content-wise coming up in the future. So I do have all my ventures going, my grapes for merchant, and of course my wanted posters for detective. So what I want to show is obviously the armory. We'll do a quick check there, as this is my first login of the day. So as always, guys, check the armory every day. It's worth doing. Definitely if you're doing a lot of crime den raids, because you're not getting any loot or drops. So the only way to get loot and drops around your level is literally to check the armory. So that's exactly what we're going to do. As we walk in and take a look, pretty much nothing here. We have like, 4 items around our level, and they're all greens. So I'm not going to buy anything. You don't really need anything on it, honestly, yet as well, because we have decent gear level-wise. It's kind of close to our level. And then if we take a look, I'm going to be doing these crime den raids most likely all the way up until level 300 at least. So because of that, upgrades are going to be necessary in the future, and I'm going to need this a little amount of gold that I do have. I continue to put upgrades into my handcuffs and, of course, into my gear. When I can, I buy new gear. So definitely something to take a look at. One other goal that we're going to be having with this account is to get everything to base 20s. Obviously, at level 20, you can start to upgrade with knowledge points, and I assume we're going to get a lot of knowledge points doing the crime den raids. So with that, I do want to say the next episode, you'll probably see me doing base 20 stuff, like getting chef to base 20, fisherman to base 20, forager to base 20, and alchemist to base 20. Again, at base 20, you can start using your knowledge points. And by the way, you guys did tell me last episode about this little safe spot back here. Not safe spot, but aggro spot that literally aggroes every single. So one thing I did want to say and mention is that if you guys are going to do a level 219 raid, you do have to be actually pretty over leveled. Or sorry, 200. Yeah, it's 219 crime den raid. You have to be pretty over leveled. I actually had to level the combat, the watchman, up to about 226, 227 with okay or decent gear. And then I could finally start AFKing these raids again. So you have to overlevel it by about 8 if you want to AFK them, and you have to make sure you have decent impact. I think it's impact deflect, but basically this white one here, you have to have decent deflect percentage on that specifically. So actually, let's take a look here. If we go to the torso, the info, hover it, yeah, it's impact damage. If you have to have decent resistance to impact damage as these things attack with impact damage, but at like level 227 combat, I was finally able to actually withstand or, AFK these raids again. So very, very nice to be in this position to actually AFK these. But again, because I want to use knowledge points on my character, I need to get everything to base 20s so I can use them wherever I want at any time. And it also will bump my total level up quite a bit, and it's super, super quick to get things to level 20. So that'll be the next goal of the account, of course. So as we jump into the next crime den raid, this is usually where I stand, but it doesn't actually actively grab every single mob every time. So let me know in the comments below if you guys found a good spot on this specific crime den raid that you can actually AFK. This is, like I said, probably the best spot, but it's not going to actually aggro every single one. I'm wondering if I could have maybe went here. But let me know in the comments below. But the next thing I really want to mention is the fact that we don't have an update as of today yet. This is the first time in a while. We had, I think, one other day in the past 2 weeks that we really haven't had an update besides weekends. So I'm excited to see that most likely what we're getting out of this is leaderboards work. They're working on leaderboards behind the scenes as much as possible, as we saw that last weekend. I'm excited to see these leaderboards, and I know a lot of you guys are as well. Just some info or some kind of feature for us to kind of look at in the game. And I have questions as to what you guys want to see. What's your kind of wish list on leaderboards? Do you want it to be where you can search by nation? So obviously you could have, all players in the U.S. who has the highest total level, who has the highest, guard level, who has the highest chef level, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are and what they should be doing. Obviously, I think it's going to be bare bones when it first comes out, and then they can add features and updates to the leaderboards as they continue on with the game. But I have seen a lot of comments on a wish list overall. We might do a wish list video coming up about the entirety of Brighter Shores, what you hope to come soon. I know a lot of people talking about the quartermaster, bigger bank size, when you withdraw items, having an option for 12 instead of just 10, because 12 is half of the backpack, so it makes a lot more sense. A lot of things like that really are QOL fixes that I could see Andrew definitely getting on board with and giving us. So I'm excited to see what kind of updates we get here in the near future. I wanted to go over updates today, but again, no updates as of yet. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on my character itself. But one thing we did realize as well is with the passives that we got. So we got to level 229 as a passive in detective, and it did give us the searching interrogation, but it didn't actually give us a ton more XP than we got at level 209. So I think it's important to note that you just have to get unlocked that first passive over level 200, and then you're safe. You can actually go do other activities because you're going to be getting a ton of passive XP, and you get not near as much as you would think from going from 209 to 229. So that's something to definitely keep in mind as well. And these are things I just wish I knew, because I would have rushed something to 200 a lot faster, and I would have, got a passive going as quickly as possible. But depends what your account progression is looking like. If you're somebody that likes quests and stuff and just kind of ignoring these things, that's perfectly fine as well. Looks like I think we get a knowledge point here. Yeah, we get a knowledge point. So again, we're going to pop our 5% XP pot like we always do. And then we're going to actually put this in, I don't know if we're putting it in detective or Watchman right now. If you have an idea of what I should be doing, let me know as well. I'm trying to figure out what's the best for me as I'm getting passive XP overnight. So I would assume I want more in Watchman, but I think I get less XP, obviously, the higher level I am in Watchman. But the same thing happens with detective in these raids. So it's an interesting situation. I think I'm just going to continue to balance them, keep the combat maybe 3 levels higher than detective. So when I do hit that level 344, I'm eventually going to actually be little higher on the combat than detective, so I can actually AFK those as well. So we'll keep going into combat for now. I want to hear about your guys' account progress as well and see what you guys are doing. Do you think that episode 4 is actually way better designed than episode 1 and 2? I think episode 1 did a decent job. Episode 2 did just an okay job. I think episode 2 might be the weakest episode out of all of them. Episode 3 and 4, though, in my opinion, are the best. And I think episode 4 specifically for me is my favorite. So I just wanted to hear what's your favorite episode and what do you think is probably the worst episode. But that's pretty much all today. Just again, I thought we would get an update from Andrew and the team, but it may be one of those times where they're just working on leaderboards and things behind the scenes, not actually giving us an update today. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications on. We'll update you guys every time we get an update on the game as well as character progression. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you all in the next one.